Well, I was after 120, but it's hopefully going to end up at about 104. Had a couple hours of rough puking, but we'll take the D goal for today, right? I was injured last year, though, so it was good to come and be healthy. The heat and the puking got me.
Yeah.
I can't believe what you guys do with a multi-day.
101.
I know there's bad patches in these and marathons and hundreds, so I can only imagine the multi-day.
Good job, bud. I'd have to turn on my brain. You're a history teacher. History lesson. Harold Seagloss started this off back in 1983. There you go. I was out doing helping with the Prescott Jingle Bell Run with Linda Van, and she's like, well, Harold needs some tables from ARR. Can you go deliver them? So I delivered the tables. And then Paul Manning and I looked at each other, and Harold goes, you know, if you volunteer for 8 hours, you can run this for free. So I'm like, cool. So Paul Manning and I volunteered for 8 hours. And then we went and next day came out and ran the race. And back then it was the challenge was to keep one person on the track to keep the timers awake. When I first did it, it was at Washington High School, but then the first time I did it was at Phoenix Christian downtown on Indian School about 11th Avenue. Oh, that's when I ran it the first year. And it wasn't until the next year that we moved it out to the Arizona Boys Ranch. And I was going to run it that next year when Harold called me up Christmas Eve and said, Paul, I'm sick. I don't feel well. Can you put the race on for me? So I'm like, sure, I guess. So I picked up all the stuff from his house and put the race on and ran the race. And then Harold said after the race, Paul, I hear you did such a good job. I think I'm going to give you the race. I'm like, oh, great. So then we started putting on the race for a few years. Always had help doing it. Wayne Knowles was my first helper. He did a lot of my paperwork stuff. And then Frank Kuda and I put it on for several years. And that's when we decided to have the first 6-day over the millennium, right? Since it was race across the years, decades, centuries, and millennium. Eat, walk, run, eat, and nap race. The official name of it. So then we put on the 6th day, and this was before computer timing. But we got a computer to count laps because the old timing system was write down every lap, write down the person did the lap, write down the time of the lap, and write down the lap time, which means you had to calculate it. So you had people on a 400-meter track trying to count people's laps. Old school. So Frank came up with the computer timing. All we had to do was type in the number and it would do it all. But being over the millennium break, the Y2K, and all the fear that all the power was going to go out, when we were doing computer timing for the first time, we can't have this race blow up at midnight and stop because of Y2K. So we had marine batteries and all kinds of battery backups for something that never ever happened. But that was the first time we did the 6th day. And that's when this race took off. Before Before that, if you got 20 or 30 people in the entire race, and we only did 24, 48, 72, and if you got 30 people in the race, you had a great race. When we put on the 6th day, that's when it became international. I got people coming from all over the world, Brazil, Germany. Hassan Martina first showed up. And some of the old guys, Andy Lovey, Bill Dickey, who's out here this year. Some of these guys. They were all there for the 6th day.
What was the official first year, and what was the first year that you just mentioned?
The official first year of the
race?
83, I think, 83, 84. It was a 12-hour, actually. There were some 12-hour things also.
And then when they became really popular?
That was the year 2000. When we did the 6th day, that it became super popular. That it became known. Then I directed, I think, another race year after that. And then I said, thank you very much. It's been fun. Somebody else can do this. And Roger Rublik stepped in with Laura. And they put it on for a year and moved it to Nardini Manor. And then the next year I came back in and directed it through the rest of the Nardini Manor years. And then after Roger and I stepped down, nobody picked it up until Arizona Road Racers put it on. I don't think they called it across the years, but they put on a 24-hour run one year, and then Jamil and Aravaipa picked it up. Jamil and Nick picked it up and put it out here. Bigger area, mile track, considering we used to run on a 40-meter track. In Nardini, that was a kilometer, I think, but not very wide. So this venue gives us openness. We can put as many people as we want into it, which is cool. And Jamil's done a hell of a job building it and making it a big event. So it's taken generational stuff. I got it bigger for Harold. We built it bigger at Nardini. And now this has made it even bigger than all of them.